Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room Recap for, what is it? Tuesday, August the 22nd. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. Any questions? This is an email, or this is the email link or address. This is the link to get into the room. It's a free room. I share my screen all day long. I start at 9 o'clock on the sharing. I get live on the mic at 9:05. You do not have to be a member of Trade Ideas to come into the room. And if you'd like to take out a subscription to Trade Ideas, this is a link you can use. Trade Ideas will cost you about $4.40 a day for our premium service, and a little over, I think it's about $2.07 a day for our standard service. All right, well, I wish I was still in this one. This one whipped me out right here, but this was my early trade. 9:32, I got into IMU. Take a look at the daily on it. See, it's had some tremendous days. The last two. I'm sorry, I can't seem to adjust this, but if I look left, there really wasn't any. Once it took this out, there really wasn't any resistance. So that's why I decided to take this trade, even though it already had a couple of great days. Let me get to the 15-minute chart here. So I got into this trade at 9:32, right about here. And this one came, and I'm going to go over this a little bit later on. This came from the evening scan. I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the evening scan in case you don't know. It's a great look. It's a great watch list, really, for me anyway. So I'll show you where I'm getting these from. So anyway, bottom line is I sold some at 9:48. Sold some at 9:59, and on this move down, I sold at 9:50. Now it looks like it is still strong, wanting to move up. But anyway, I'm all out of that one right now. I am in this one, ATI, and this is turning out to be a really nice trade. I took this trade at 20:07. If you're in the room, you know that I waited for the second time that it broke 20. Again, if you take a look at the daily chart, you look left, there is really no resistance whatsoever, especially once it broke through 20. I love that whole number play, the whole number break. So I waited, had a lot of patience on it. It was moving around that 20 just a little bit. Anyway, got into the trade. I sold some out at, where did I sell that? 2030. Sold some out at 2030, and I'm holding on to the rest. So right there is where I sold some out. Did take some other trades. Don't really want to get into them too much. Let's see. Yeah, the Cody. Oh, I should know. I've got to talk about this one. This was an interesting one. EBR. Take a look at the pop it had. This tan area right here is the pre-market. All right. Now this is a bank. I shouldn't say. It's a company in Brazil. And the news on it was that the government wanted to divest itself, or starting to divest itself of its holdings in this, basically looking maybe to privatize this. Now it has $1 billion in the float. And you know that if you're in the room, I generally don't trade the high floaters. And I know I take some flack about it. However, I will trade the high floaters if there's some news. You know, my problem with some of the high floaters is that if there's really no specific news to make it want to run, then I just find that they're not dynamic enough for me. Anyway, EBR certainly turned into a really nice trade. You know, again, I'm always looking at the percentage on the percentage basis. Got into this trade right here. So maybe a little bit late. You know, but it was holding this 6 and then it started to move up. So I took the trade right here, and I did sell some out at 631. So for the marginal gain, and then look at this pop. I mean, that's amazing. Sold the last bid out at 665. So I'm all out. I'm all out of the EBR. But that was, you know, on a percentage basis for a stock with $1 billion in the float. That was just a really nice trade. Wow, look at ATI now. This is turning into a really good trade. Really good trade. And this came from my trend reversals. You know, you want this, all you have to do is ask me for it. But this came from my trend reversals. And, you know, basically what it is, you may have seen the top list window. Basically what I did is I took the top list window and I turned it into an alert window. So the same filters are in place, but now with a trigger either of a new high or a new low. So this is, this is starting to give me some really nice nice looks. Now, I think what I'd like to do right now, as I'm just going to, in fact, I'll close this down. I think I'm done. I don't want to go over in any other trades, and I'll get the surfing on in the room. Oh, I can't do that. Yeah, okay. Anyway, this is what I'm doing with the evening scan. This is what this is how I found IMU. Now I have to be careful here that I don't lose it. Let's see, if I click on this, am I going to lose these? No. Okay. So this is what I'm doing with the evening scan. So if you take a look at the configuration, what I've got here. So these are stocks between and again, you can make adjustments as you see fit, but I'm looking for stocks between $1 and $100. Current volume is 2. That means that it has to have traded at least twice as much as normal. Minimum of 400,000 shares traded. Up or down at least 4% from yesterday's close, and within 20% of the high or the low of the day. So these are the ones that have made the cut so far. These are the ones that have passed those filters. And how I sort them on, actually that's wrong. Let me get there. Here we go. How close are they to the high of the day? So you can see that TGB, as an example, is right at the high of the day. And I sort them like this, and then at the bottom here, ELF, as an example, is right at the low of the day. This column right there is the position in the day's range. Okay, so I can actually look at this all day long, and I can maybe trade even off this list. But really, the function of this list is to take those ones. Then, once the market closes at 4, sometimes I let it go to about 4:30 to see if I can capture any of the post-market movers. And I take the list, basically take that list, and I copy it. And I put it into this list into this window right there, which is what I call evening scan the next day. So look at it. This is how I found IMMU, because it was on from yesterday. Understand what happened. IMMU was in this list yesterday, so that means I was going to monitor it today. And what I do is, if I go to symbol list, hopefully you know how to create a symbol list, but what I do with this is I create a symbol list called evening scan, and I say, okay, I attach it to this window, this top list window. I attach the evening scan. Notice it says only the following list. So that means this is only monitoring my evening scan from the day before. And again, I sort it on the ones that are up the most. I shouldn't say that are near the high of the day. That's what I like to see, stocks that are near the high of the day. And this is exactly the same. It's just that instead of my having to, sometimes there are very many, symbols. Right now it's not too bad. I could probably have this list just like this. But when there are a lot of symbols, what I like to do is I like to just be able to quickly zero in on the ones that are near the high of the day and the ones that are near the low of the day. Okay, so this is just basically duplicated, and then I just sort on this. See how I can sort? See, I've sorted now, so this will look virtually the same. Again, remember now these are 30-second. These get updated every 30 seconds. I just left-click the window or this column, so I just sort it in a different way. So that's what I do, and all it takes is to find a couple. IMUU was a great one for today. It basically alerted me almost right off the bat. So for me anyway, it is definitely a worthwhile venture to do all that. All right, well, that's about it. I'm going to keep watching the ATI, see what happens on that, and let's see. Okay, again, if you want to, email me any questions, or you want some of the links that I've put in the room or in this webinar, not a webinar, in this recap, this is the email address to use. Just tell me which one you want and I'll send it to you. Again, this is a free room. This is the link. All we do is we ask for your email. We send you a return email. You create a password one time, and that gets you access to the room, and you do not have to be a member of Trade Ideas. I'll open the room tomorrow at about 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and that's when I start to share my screen, and then I get live on the mic at 9:05. So everybody have a great evening, and I hope to see you in the trading room tomorrow. Bye-bye.